I'm keeping this in the video. Fuck it. So I might just split it off. I don't know. Again, with talking about shit. Product placement is fucking dumb.
Gross.
Yeah.
It is absolutely gross.
It's completely gross. You know? And it's just so gross. If you can't get money for your movie, right, without having to go to product placement, then you can do one or two things. Either don't make your fucking movie, or have a lower budget for fuck's sake! You know?
Mm.
You know?
You are correct.
Which is the problem with high budget films.
Well, it's when you have to pay an actor $20 million to show up for a couple of days.
You know, we'll get a cheaper actor then.
Yeah. But then people won't see the movie, man. We won't make millions of dollars.
You know? Just like, you have all these high budget effects and stuff. I don't need this is just tutorial. You have all these high budget effects called Kirby. Yoshi has a weird momentum to him, by the way. You have all these special effects and CG effects and like fancy actors that, you know, are only there because they're a famous name.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when what's his name again?
There's a lot of famous actors.
You know, like the guy who can't win an Oscar.
Leo.
Yeah.
I think he actually won an Oscar.
Well, yeah, he's probably old enough to do that now. But yeah.
There's probably product.
Oh, now, I'm contagious. My sickness is contagious.
Product placement that you don't notice.
Oh, that's not right.
You know? It's when it's like ham-fisted in there. Like, gross.
Yeah. Just get a cheaper actor or something, you know? The throw button is A, by the way, which is something I'm not used to at all. Normally the throw button is a trigger. I don't know if I can change that. I see you. Oh, I'm out of eggs. Whatever. He can go die. Anyway. So... Ugh. Shit. I know! Fuck off, tutorial! Ew. Anyway. That's the sound of this game, by the way. Shut up!
It's a nice sound.
Yeah, it is a nice sound. Yeah. Just make a cheaper film. You know, what do you end up with all the product placement and fancy-ass actors that don't care about the product, you know?
It takes you out of the movie when you see something like that.
What do you end up with? You end up with like a shit movie that, you know, all that work just for making a shitty script. Like, just for a movie that's based around a shitty-ass script. You know? Movies are things that, like, take time and, you know, you need, like, writing team. Like, not a team, but you need, like, a good writer for it. Which you also have to pay, you know? Well, you don't have to, because the writer might be the one who's starting the movie in the first place. But in terms of TV shows, you have to pay writers, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, if you have extra writers, although in the terms of movies, it's normally just, like, one writer.
They have a team, but I think sometimes when you have a team, it just makes it harder, you know?
Yeah, you know?
It's like a group of different people with different ideas.
Because it's just like, you know, one writer's like, see, this is what I envision,
Yeah.
right? Like the main writer. The main writer, dude, this is what I envision, okay? I envision a movie about a mouse. Shit. Get out of there. I envision a movie about a mouse who goes on a little adventure and learns about how to not, I don't know, how to not fuck with prostitutes at the end. And, like, You know, it's a pretty dark idea. However, I'm pretty sure it will work if done correctly. And like writer A, let's just call him Jim. You know, like Jim is just like, oh yeah, well I see you. You're thinking, Glenn. I see you thinking, Glenn. However, I've been a writer for about, you know, I've been a Hollywood writer for about like a decade. I've been here for about 15 years, Bob. So, how about this? Instead of him overcoming about how to not fuck with prostitutes and get STDs...
It's STIs now.
What?
It's called STIs now, but continue. They're not disease or infections, but go on.
What? What?
I like where this is going. Keep going.
When did they change that?
I was not notified.
I wasn't notified at all! Anyway, so... yeah, so, look, wait. Oh, shit. Nice. So, Glenn is just like, shit. That's not what he says, but... So Glenn is just like, oh yeah, well I've been in this industry for about a decade and a half. Oh, God damn it. I've been in this writing for Hollywood for about a decade and a half. So how about, instead of the mouse overcoming how not to fuck with prostitutes and get STIs... I'm still baffled, by the way. But how to learn not to get STIs. How about he goes on a fancy adventure where he learns how to love his family instead.
And then the Hollywood exec comes in, his clipboard.
Yeah.
He says, I love that, but how about his family or emojis?
No, well, no, not quite. It's more like, you know, and then writer B, we'll call him, well, no, we'll call him Phil, I guess.
Hey,
That's the
this
only
better not be
name.
negative.
Fine, we'll call him,
Dick face?
we'll call him Phil with an E on the end.
What? Philly?
Well, yeah, well, no, it's like, you know, it's Phil with an E, with an accent E, you know, like, I'm a file! You know? I'm a Phil, you know?
Yeah.
I'm Phil. You know? I'm Phil. I've been in this industry for about 20 years. Longer than Glenn. So, Glenn, I like your idea. However, why don't we incorporate it with my idea? With my idea of they're going on an adventure and overcoming his family. However, while on the adventure, he has to deal with conflict of bad guy. And bad guy is a stereotype.
I just want to make a movie about mouses and prostitutes.
Bad guy is stereotype of bad guy. He have evil mustache, and smells like a bad. And Glenn's like, well, shit. Good job, Phil. Wow, why didn't I think of that? And then, main writer's just like, guys, that's not what I had in mind at all. And then, like, Bob and Phil L are just like, oh, well, you know, we could just tell the producer that you don't like our idea. You know, as we are also writer executives. You know, we're both writer and exec. So, it doesn't really matter what you say.
Can I ask where Fiel is from?
I don't know. Mexico?
That fool. That's not Mexican.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe Hollywood is actually hiring Mexicans to write. That's why the scripts are so bad.
Hey, it's not very nice to Mexican people. Is it? You're really alienating your fans here.
It's not like I have any fans to begin with.
Well, I've market tested it, and you seem to be doing quite high in Mexico for some reason. Not anymore though.
No, fucking Philo comes in and it's just like, well, I market tested your Let's Play. I've lost the voice. Well, I market test your Let's Play.
You sound like French Canadian to me.
Yeah. I market test your Let's Play. And you have no fan in Mexico. It's like China, Mexico. Because he's not saying full words. Where the fuck did this character come from? Anyway, now we're a helicopter. It's like... You know... Whatever. And then I guess... You know... writer C, who is also an executive, goes like, guys, that's a great idea. You know? Guys! That's a great idea. This is just Dalton, apparently. Coincidental. Anyway. Goes, guys, that's a great idea! Guys! That's a great idea! Idea? Not Canadian. That's a great idea! That's better. I got too much into the voice. That's scary. That scared me a little.
You lost yourself in the character.
I lost myself.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, and it's just like... And it's just like, guys, that's a great idea! But how about we also add a funny sidekick? And I'm like, but guys, it's, you know, this is main writer, but guys, it's not a buddy film. It's about overcoming his stresses of having, you know, having gotten an STI.
And he's like, who is this fool?
Yeah. Who this fool? Who this fool?
Scusi?
Yeah, scusi? Who this fool? Nice, I got a baby Mario.
Oh, I needed one of those.
Let's get a Kamek. That's not a Kamek, well, it sort of is. Fucking hell! One up! Anyway. So basically, they all fuck up his, initial idea to the point of unrecoverable. And that day, Bob, the main writer, was like, I'm gonna take my film to Sony. You know? Bob the writer was like, I'm gonna take my film to Sony instead of you, Illumination. Instead of you, Universal. So... Then, the next day, he took his film to Sony. Right?
Right.
Which... Then what happened is, you know, he was like, well, here at Sony. Okay, so tell us your idea, Bob. Bob, tell us your idea. Okay? Tell us your idea for a kid's film. Again, please. He's like, well, so... It's a film about a mouse who goes on a long and arduous journey. Arduous journey. And he has to overcome having an STI. And he learns not to deal with prostitutes anymore. And then the Sony guy goes like, well, gee, that's great, but how about we put in a body sidekick and get rid of all the STI stuff?
Yeah.
No.
Spider-Man 6.
Yeah. Oh, I can't top that now. I can't top that.
True, though.
Why'd you do that? Oh. I can't get over that now. You know, And then, so, the Sony executive then goes like, so how much were you thinking, how much money did you think that this film would be, animated and shot for? And, he goes, well, not much really, it's my first film, I don't really, you know, want to overprice myself in the market, no. And some actors are a bit overpricey, and, you know, it's sort of not the best. Get back there! Okay, good. So, the Sony executive goes, okay, so what, like $1 million? Well, no, I was more thinking like okay, so $1 billion. Well,
Okay.
wait, hold on a minute. I didn't say that, and he goes like,
That's a great idea, Johnny Depp.
that's a great idea. Let's get, that wasn't the key. Anyway, that's a great idea. Let's get, can't think of any actors off the top of my head.
Tom Cruise, that's perfect.
Yeah, let's get Tom Cruise as the mouse. I'm sure he'll do fine. And he's like, well, wait a minute, I heard Tom Cruise is a bit, you know, overtaking of our films. I don't think I want Tom Cruise. Okay, good. Well then, Steve Martin. Is he still alive? I don't know.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I love that man.
I don't even think Steve Martin is A grade anymore,
No, he definitely lost a bit of relevance.
Yeah. But Steve Martin was the only thing I could think of, goddamn.
Steve Martin would actually work in that movie though, so it's not a good example. You know? It's not a good choice.
2, 3, 4, okay, 8 down, 8 right. And he's dead! What?! Oh, fuck. Oh. It was 5. It was 5! It was 5! Dead now? You dead now? You dead now? Yes. There's a trick to that game, by the way. If you wait like 5, he dies instantly. But yeah. You know. So Steve, oh God, I can't think of Steve. Just imagine that Steve Martin is an A grade, alright? Okay? Even though he's not anymore.
Why didn't you choose Tom Cruise?
Because,
Okay, go on. Steve Martin.
you know, let's get Tom Cruise. And I've heard, well, you know, I've heard Tom Cruise is a bit actually, you know, he takes over his movies a bit, doesn't he? You know, he likes it to be all action, and, you know, it isn't really an action movie. It's more adventure. Really, okay. Well, then how about Woody Allen? Not Woody Allen. Who am I thinking of?
Woody Harrelson.
Not Woody Harrelson. I mean, how about Tim Allen? No.
Tim Allen.
I can't think of any fucking A-grade
All your
celebrities because I don't
references
watch Hollywood movies.
So old school, like he's fucking Tim Allen.
I can't think of any,
We
like...
shall call it Santa Claus 5.
There's only 3 of those.
Oh,
Anyway.
they should make a 4th.
I can't think of any A-grade celebrities because I don't give a shit about A-grade celebrities. Like, what's an A-grade celebrity right now?
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, fine then. Matthew McConaughey. How about Matthew McConaughey as the mouse? Okay, well, sure. How much is that going to cost us? Well, I reckon that cost us $1 billion kajillion. But how do you afford all that?
Simple, we take it out of the animation.
Well, simple, really. We just, you know, get a lot of, we go to Coca-Cola and go, well, hey, do you like, do you want, if you pay us, we'll put this in your mouse, in this mouse movie. And I'm like, and like, Bob's like, but hey, wait a minute. You know, why don't you just make a cheaper movie instead of having a bunch of product placement? And I'm like, and the Sony executive just goes like,
Sorry, did you say something?
yeah. You know, about what? What did you say? What you said in my fucking face? Did you say it to my fucking face? I own mafias. I own multiple mafias. You know? What'd you say to me, bitch? You know?
He sounds like one of those Mr. Burn like contraptions in his office.
Yeah.
And the button, just press.
Yeah, just pushes a button. No, and fucking Bob goes, okay, well, how about I just take this to someone else? Someone else, I will do it just fine. It'll be just fine, okay? It'll just fine. I'll take it to someone else. Fine, I'll take it to someone else. This good. Okay, so now I'll take it to someone else. You don't come back here ever fucking again, you bastard. You know? And then he takes it to a... I shouldn't have used illumination as my first example.
How about Fox?
Yeah, fuck. Imagine I replay... Just fucking... I'll just audio edit it so that I say Fox instead of illumination. We'll just be like, you know, fucking... So, you know, I'll take it back to Fox, you know? Like, awkward audio cut.
Fox.
So he takes it to illumination. I'm gonna do that, by the way. He takes it to illumination. And he's like, well, I heard that you make movies that get pretty popular. So, I was wondering if I could use your talent. You know, quote-unquote talent. But Bob's a bit unobserving, basically.
Naive to the business.
Naive to the business. Bob's a bit unobservant. He's a bit naive to business. You know, because you know how Illumination makes cheap-ass movies? You know? He's like, well, I've heard you also make cheap-ass movies, so... You know, it's perfect. It's perfect for me. And then, Illumination's like, well, what's your idea? You know, because obviously a minion is the one who runs Illumination. Well, what's your idea? You know? Look at these guys. Their pencils Pete. What's your idea then, Bob? And then, Bob's like, well, see, it's a mouse, right? Who has to, you know, he goes on an adventure, right? To overcome STIs. And he learns in the end not to fuck with prostitutes. It's pretty dark for a kid's movie, but I think it'll work out. They'll be able to handle it. You know? And like, Bob. You know, other Bob, because I think there is a minion named Bob, by the way. You know, Bob the Minion!
I'm not gonna ask how you know that, but...
What?
I'm not gonna ask how you know that.
I think there's a Bob minion in the first movie. That's the only one I've seen, too, is Despicable Me. Actually, no, I've seen Despicable Me, too. But, yeah.
Go on.
Oh, they respawn, the bastards. Fucking... Okay. So, Bob the Minion goes like, well, okay, that's a pretty good start. However, how about we put in some licensed music? Let's put some Nicki Minaj in. It'll work. But it's not a musical, Bob. Well, it can be. It can be, and it will be, but hold on there. Just continues on for a little bit. You know. And then I go like... And then he's like, well... See, Bob, I was thinking that a buddy sidekick wouldn't be a good idea. You know? You know? It's just implied that they all give him a buddy sidekick.
I love how everyone says, yeah, that's great, but just immediately changed everything bad.
Yeah, you know? And also the fact that they all give him a buddy sidekick.
Yeah. We're thinking of Mel Gibson.
Yeah. And he was like, we're thinking of Mel Gibson to play the mouse as well. Mouse Gibson.
He turns some shitty action 80s movie.
And then he's like, yeah, but it's not an action movie. It's just a funny little cartoon about... Oh, there's nothing here.
Well, haven't you seen Lethal Weapon?
It's just a funny cartoon about a mouse going on an STD adventure. STI. I'm still dumbfounded by that. You know, going on an STD adventure. Big blog! Anyway, so... And it's just like... Oh. Okay, well, okay, Illumination. What else have you got in mind for my, adventure? Well, we're thinking less of the STDs. Yeah, I've heard that before. But, how about we have, just a character who's evil and is a stereotype? But how about we have a bunch of characters that are also... That one's a teenager and is gangsty, One's a girl teenager and loves boys. One's a mother who has a bunch of fucking kids for no reason. There's one who's an old man who's evil and is a greedy rich man. And there's also one who is your character, but with more, but with more hero aspects. And he's like, I'm just gonna fund my own movie. In all honesty. I'll see you later. I'll laugh at you when my movie gets super popular. So he goes on the Kickstarter. Or like Indiegogo. Indiegogo? Yeah, that's what it's called. Goes on the Indiegogo, fucking starts his campaign. He doesn't get all the funds. However, he gets enough funds to, not to feed himself, he gets enough funds to actually pay for the animation course. Enough funds to pay for the animation course. He does it. He starts animating. It takes him a couple years because he's only one man. He hires like some cheapo voice actor. Maybe becomes friends with the cheapo voice actor. And, the movie's going swell. The movie's going great. Opening day. He goes to like a small, he tries to put it in like a big ass cinema. And, then... Oh, by the way, he's embarrassed now.
It would be.
Death by farts. He, goes and basically... On opening day, he looks in the theatre, sees how many people are enjoying his movie. He sees one guy in there, just sitting there. And then, like, he turns around, like, the one guy turns around and goes, "Oh, hey there! Hi! I see you there!" And then, like, fucking Bob just goes like, "Where's my pocket knife?" I'm done with life now.
I heard Mel Gibson was in this movie.
Nah, that's not the point of that. The point is that he had no advertising budget and that it wasn't known at all, Because does anyone go into a movie anymore without...
Blind.
Yeah, does anyone go into a movie blind anymore?
You have to get you gotta get it released in theaters, which,
Yeah, he went through the arduous, hard process of getting it released in theaters, all that. And then, opening day, there's just one person there. Who goes. And, then Bob kind of, slits his throat a little.
Just a little.
Goes to the hospital. Doctor's like, "Oh God, we can't save him. He's gonna die." And then Bob dies. But then the irony is that one guy spread the word. So Bob died for no reason. The end!
It's like Picasso.
Oh.
Wait, no, I'm not thinking. But who's the painter? Was it Van Gogh? Was that the good dude?
Yeah, Van Gogh.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot of painters.
No, the guy that his work got famous after they killed himself.
Oh, he killed himself. Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Shit.
Isn't that how the story goes? It's similar to Bob.
That story could just go on forever,
It could.
Where are Bob's next adventures? Where is the next adventure of Bob? Fucking goes in like hell and is just like, "Oh hey, I'm Satan. I saw your movie. It did look pretty okay. It's still not quite mainstream. However, at least 30 people have watched it. Still pretty good that at least 30 people have watched your movie, even though it's about STDs and it's a kids movie. It's not the best, but not the worst. It's mid-K. It's mediocre at best, That'd be the worst, if you put all the work in trying to get into cinemas and like spending 2 years of your life like making this fucking thing, right? And then people just call it mediocre at best. You know, It was okay. I didn't like the subplot about the buddy cop.
That's stupid, right? I can't believe you put that in there. Bob's such a dickhead.
You know? So he didn't even want the buddy cop. It just drove him so insane they were all putting in a buddy cop that he accidentally put in a buddy cop unwillingly. You know? Oh god.
This is a long episode.
Feels like it, doesn't it? That was a long story! Let's see. Kamek?